Good morning, everyone. Let's call court to order. Today is Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. It's 9 a.m. Proof posted, please.
The agenda was posted on Thursday, June 12, 2025 at 3:45 p.m. and a supplemental agenda was posted on Friday, June 13, 2025 at 4:15 p.m.
Okay, thank you. Let's stand brief for a moment of silence and then we'll have a pledge to the flags.
Please join in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Our Texas pledge.
Honorable Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state,
under God,
one and indivisible. Thank you. Thanks, Steve. Okay, at this time, if anyone in the audience that wants to speak to the Commissioners Court on business matters that aren't on the agenda, but more in public comments, please come forward and do so at this time. And I know that Mr. Chick Cowan's here. If you'd like to come forward, if you don't mind, introduce yourself and give your address where you live. And we will limit, as I've mentioned to you, 3 minutes on the comments.
Very good. You'll have to hold me to the 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll do that.
My name is Chick Cowan. I live in Precinct 4. My address is 1057 Indian Trail. I'd like to address the court about an incident that occurred last Thursday morning after we had some very heavy rains. Had about 2.5 inches that occurred overnight. I was awoken by emergency services at the low water bridge next to my house, and about 75 emergency personnel were in the process of trying to extract a young man from that bridge. I believe you have my pictures. I hope you do. But the first picture I'd like to call your attention to is the one that's showing the rescue. The Waco Fire Department came out with their boom truck, and it was required to extract that young man from the back of his pickup truck. At that time, at about 5:30 in the morning, he was in 2.5 feet of water and in danger of going over the bridge. The second picture I will show you is the event after he had been rescued, and this was daylight, and this shows the truck still in the water, and it's about 2 feet of water at that point. What I'm asking for from the commissioners, and really Mr. Perry, he's not here, is I'd like to go to the third picture that shows the condition of the bridge on the upside stream, which has some concrete barricades. Those are in place. Those are all good. I'll redirect you to the last picture, and this shows the downstream side where the truck was. All those concrete barricades have been knocked out. When I was watching the event that morning, I couldn't understand how the young man's truck was staying on that bridge. I'll go back to the first picture. None of you have asked yet what that white thing is, but I'm going to tell you, it's a water tank. Water tank, yeah. That water tank came downstream a few minutes after the young man got stuck in the water. What you can't see in this particular picture is his rear tire is caught against that concrete curb. As I sat there watching, I couldn't figure out how the truck stayed on the bridge because there's no supports there. It wasn't until after the water went down, I thought he'd gotten caught on some wrought iron. It wasn't until after the water had gone down, I looked, there was no support. That front tire was unencumbered. And I realized that white water tank had come downstream and pinned his back tire against the concrete curb. And that's why I think it's so important that we have concrete supports there to keep a vehicle from going downstream. That's really what I'd like to highlight for the court more than anything else is we do need to have something. I'll be honest with you, I think that young man would have lost his life. It's not really a water tank. I think that was an act of the Lord who came down and saved him. I really do. He was pinned there and they got him out. And I don't want anyone hurt in the future. So that's what I'd like to ask of the court more than anything else, just to pay attention to the water crossings and what we can do to prevent this. Any questions of me?
Thank you. And I would like to introduce you to Amy. Amy, if you don't mind, if you will come out and go in the hallway and introduce yourself and get some detail and then be sure that Commissioner Perry knows about this public comment, and if we need to, any action that we need to take, the engineer and Commissioner Perry will work on that. We are spending a lot of money, or time and money on roads and bridges and crossings, and my 3 minutes is up now. Thank you very much for bringing this to our attention. It's, I agree with you, it does look like a perilous problem.
It was a dumb luck. The kid was dumb to drive in the water, but he was real lucky.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
really what it was.
Nice to
Thank you,
meet you,
Mr. Cowan.
Stan. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure, sir.
Okay, anyone else speak to the court on business matters this time? All right. If not, we've got several proclamations that I'd like to go over right now. So under D1's ratification proclamation recognizing and congratulating the 2025 Robinson Rocket State champion softball team, and it's no surprise that Commissioner Smith brought this forward.
This was actually presented last week at a team meeting, dinner they had honoring the group, and my privilege to represent the county to reward or to proclaim the importance of this to these young ladies and how proud we were of them. So I would ask that I would make us into the form of a motion to ratify the proclamation.
I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right, the next proclamation is recognizing and congratulating the 2025 Midway State Champion Softball Team.
Yes, sir. That will occur tonight at a board meeting, and again, it's my honor to represent the county in presenting this proclamation to not only the Midway State Champion Softball Team, but also the Midway State Champion Baseball Team, which is phenomenal. So my motion would be to approve both D2 and D3.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. So I guess also this makes a statement that precinct 1 has more championships than any of the other precincts, in fact, all put together.
We-
That's like a call out there.
Well, bring it forward. All right. Also, I'd like to jump to the consent agenda, and I do not have any recommended pulls on the consent agenda. Does anyone else? If not, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So move.
All right, motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. We have some guests here today with some presentations, and I would like to put those at the front of the agenda. And so first is under N6. This is a discussion or action regarding the Lieutenant Colonel William Barrett Travis Alamo letter plaque, including the location of the plaque placement. So Trevor, we have Mr. Trevor Wardlaw here today. Yes, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Good morning.
Morning.
My name is Trevor Wardlaw, W-A-R-D-L-A-W, 148 Elm Grove Circle, McGregor, Texas. And I am the president of the Sons of the Republic of Texas here in Waco. I brought with me today another member, Clement Milam. As a member of the SRT, we have come into contact with a nonprofit organization named the Alamo Letter Society. And their purpose is to present a very large plaque of the Alamo, of the Travis letter that came from the Alamo in 1836. If you've ever been to the Alamo, I'm sure you all have, there's 3 large plaques that are in the ground right in front of the Alamo. It looks like one of those. And I've been to a number of these presentations where they have, the plaques have gone inside courthouses, in front of courthouses, just wherever they might be. It's a beautiful sight. I have already secured funding for this plaque. In the pages you're flipping through there, that page you're on, there's the second page there is no, the one before that, sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah, okay.
The second page actually has pictures of other counties and what they've done. As of right now, there's only about 24 counties that have actually made this presentation. It's a big event. Now, Limestone County wasn't too large, but out in Corsicana, they had a really large, nice event that pulled the whole community together. And it makes for Judge Felton and I have talked quite a bit about this, actually, but it makes for a very beautiful plaque in front of any courthouse. They're large. There's all different types of ways of presenting those. I'm not sure if I'm covering everything for you all, but the Alamo Letter Society in and of itself has a lot of moving parts. And in fact, Bill McNutt is one of the co-founders. What's the name of the fruitcake people out of Corsicana?
Collins Street Bakery?
Yes, that's who he is, yeah. And so there's a lot of good men involved in this organization, and their goal is once again to place a plaque in all 254 counties, and I hope McLennan County is one of those.
Okay.
Do you have any questions on that? It's kind of a
Are they,
broadly.
the goal is to try to get all 254 counties to have a letter?
Yes, sir. And what they do is, so they, when I met these people, I called them and asked, when is McLennan County getting theirs? And they had no chairperson, as they call them, to spearhead it. So I waited a few months, called them back. They still didn't have anybody. And third phone call I made, I found out that I was now that man.
Persistence.
But they also had their eye on Judge Felton as well, is my understanding.
Yeah, that's true. And Trevor gave me a call, finally somebody I knew representing the effort, and we had a lot of conversation about it. I think I briefly even talked about some of y'all, but as you know, the Alamo and what happened there was a significant part of what ended up being one of the driving forces to establish the state of Texas. And you know, we came in as a county in 1850. This plaque is, as Trevor said, is a very significant piece of work. And one of the things that we're working on right now is we have a new judicial center that we're recreating within what used to be the old downtown jail. The alleyway that's there now that's used for vehicles is not going to be, it's going to be pedestrian, and it's going to be a lot of areas to exhibit things, as well as the rest of the grounds as well. We have a committee called the Space Allocation Committee, that helps work with the architects and engineers and public works and all these things to working on all the things with this footprint. And so if the court agrees, then that we should move forward with this, then we would ask this committee to do some ideas, work with we actually have an architectural firm working with us right now, and get them to help us place where it'd be the best place to get the most visual, and provide it as a significant piece of history like our courthouse is already. And so I support this. I think it'd be something that, as you can see, it is placed in a very significant way from the standpoint of how it's exhibited. I think looks like a granite block here and some other different ways.
There's several ways of presenting that, and that'd be something that obviously that y'all would have to make a decision on.
Right.
The cost, back to the cost of that plaque's production is $4,500, and I've already secured that funding, another relative of mine. In fact, the actual plaque itself, the rendering of the plaque for McLennan County is on that page right there. Now, that does not include the cost of the placement
Right.
itself and the box it's on, if you will. It doesn't include the transportation of it getting, I think it's out of Houston, if I'm not
I
mistaken.
think that's right.
But I will be paying for that to get that here. Because
Appreciate it.
it's about 200-something pounds, I believe.
203 pounds, I think.
So it's a large, one thing also I must say is that at Limestone County, it was a nice presentation, but they didn't have it set. So all they did was, I think Pete Sessions was there to be the keynote speaker, but they brought out this plaque and just showed it to everybody. So 2 or 3 months later, I called back for Judge Duncan out there, and he said, no, it's in a closet right now, or something along those lines. It's in someone's room. It's not even out. So I want to make sure that this is completed. I don't want this plaque to sit somewhere for a long time.
Right.
And if we have to, if McLennan County has to wait, then I will tell the Alamo Letter Society they must wait.
Yeah. Well, it's a perfect time to be talking about it with all the work that we've got
Okay.
going on right now. And we have some other,
Front, or
pardon me?
whether it's in front of the courthouse or in
Yeah.
in our new area back
Area,
here, I think it's a great idea.
Or even in the courthouse. We can
Yeah,
talk
in the
about
court,
that.
sure. Uh-huh.
We'll get some advice on that as well. And, on top of that, we have, as Ken knows, we've got some historic clocks that we want to also utilize and represent. They're old, really old clocks. They're how old are those clocks?
I'm sorry, I don't remember the age, but
They as old as you?
a little bit older.
Okay. That means they could be as old as me. So we've got a lot of ideas about this courtyard,
Yes, sir.
and, but I'm not, it could be that, front of the courthouse might be the best place, or inside, or whatever, but I guess the point here is, if we're interested in doing this, we have some, folks that are paying a big portion of this, and.
Well, and then the block, if we do it outside, it's just concrete, right? I mean, it's not like a,
So I've seen it to where it's been really gorgeous marble.
okay.
And I've seen it to where it's just a box of cement. Yeah, and I think Corsicana's is beautiful. Now, theirs is not at the courthouse. I forget where they actually put it, but anyway, it's a beautiful site. Theirs actually, theirs was a huge celebration. They had a National Guard out there. I think it coincided with the parade. So this is something, that McLennan County can bring together, I'm just saying, maybe Midway's band or, what have you. I mean, it could be a big community affair.
Yeah, I agree.
It'd be good. We do it like on San Jacinto Day or something, something like that.
Well,
Might be some
Independence.
Independence.
March the 6th.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That might be good too.
Yeah,
to
March
have
the
a-
6th would be fun.
Summer
A lot of the SRT guys head on down to the Alamo then.
Oh, okay.
But
Oh, okay.
but I could call our guys, the Waco guys, I could call up here to make sure they're here.
Okay, well, we'll work with y'all when we get to the appropriate date.
Okay.
What's the pleasure of the court? Or any other comments or thing?
I would just comment that I'm of the opinion that if you travel to San Antonio and don't go to the Alamo, that you could lose your citizenship.
I agree. I agree. It takes about 3 or 4 months, by the way, for production of that plaque.
Understand, okay. All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
You need a motion to approve?
You wanna-
Yeah, this is a discussion or action regarding the Lieutenant Colonel's plaque, including, which we will establish the location, but I guess the motion would be to move forward and commit to doing this, and we will work on, we'll commit to finding an appropriate location and a time to celebrate.
Yes, sir.
Judge, I think if we wanted to, since it would in effect be a donation, I think if we wanted a motion to accept the plaque, like you said, and then just direct the space committee to work with the design team on a proper placement.
Okay, thank you, Dustin, that's a good idea.
That would be my motion.
Okay, thank you.
I'll second.
That'll be my second.
Yeah, we all
All
second.
right, got a motion in several seconds. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Trevor.
Thank you.
Good to see y'all.
Anybody else want on these?
Judge, I can't find the county clock, but the city hall clock was 1905.
Yeah,
How old was it? How old was the clocks?
1905.
1905.
1905. That's
120 years old?
And they were redone.
Yeah.
since I've been here. I mean, they were refurbished.
120 years, that's amazing.
All right, next I'd like to go to N3. This is Texas A&M Agri-Life Extension Service presentation regarding family and community health services. Rachel, good morning. Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, I just found the county clock, 1884.
You have one?
Our county clock was 1884.
Wow, 1884.
I can't even get to watch the last more than a year.
Thank you.
Good morning, how are y'all doing?
Good morning.
Great.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
So this is just a yearly interpretation that I like to do with the courts to kind of showcase what all family and community health here in McLennan County has done throughout the year. I've kind of taken one of the documents that we get sent out to us from the courts to give an interpretation and kind of say what our department has been doing, our 2024 actuals, our 2025 estimates, and then our targets for 2026. So you can read through this. I hate when people read to me, so I won't read to you. So I want to kind of hit the performance measures that we have at the bottom. I started February 1, 2024. So 2024, rounding out 2024, just for those 6-7 months that I was in, whenever our fiscal year in AgriLife rolls around in September 1, we have our educational programs held was about 90 programs with 1,694 participants. And then target estimates for 2025, and that's just based on what I already have scheduled all the way out until October 1, is 120 programs. About 92 of those have already been done, with an estimate of 2,970 participants or educational contacts. I already have confirmed about 1,900, and I believe it was 22 is what I estimated, and that doesn't include any of our bigger events that we have going on in the summer. And then our 2026 targets, that's just a personal goal of mine. I think it's for sure can be met for the 2026 fiscal year. But a lot of great things we've done this year. We have, of course, chronic disease programming that goes on all year round. I try to do about 20 to 22 at-cost programs. That would be my chronic disease programs per semester. So about 60 to 80 of those programs are going to be at cost, but they are chronic disease related and for management prevention practices. One of the things that I'd like to touch on, and I know everyone in this room has great contacts, I'd love to be able to get into more school districts. That's one goal that I'm looking at. We are adjunct faculty in all schools in McLennan County, including any charter schools and private schools. We have been tasked with, and I know we brought it up at one of our TCFF meetings, that we are needing to give more outreach and more education to kids for financial literacy, of teaching our juniors and seniors in high school about how to be an adult, what you do with your money, how to budget your money, so that we're not sitting in, you're 20, 24, 25 years old as a official grown-up in debt. We've gone into Conley High School and Conley Middle School, and now we'll be going into China Spring High School in the fall 2025 semester. But that's only 2 schools that have kind of let us come in, bring in our resources, bring in our curriculum, give us, a full day with their kids where we can teach them, go through the simulation on what it means to be an adult and how to accurately administer your money. So our biggest challenge has been getting into more schools, but we are slowly making, more contacts, getting into more schools and trying to present that to those kids so that they don't come out of school thinking, everything's good, everything's going to be taken care of. One of the comments I got as we did it this last, I believe it was April with Conley Middle School, was the 8th graders at Conley Middle School didn't know you had to pay to get your trash picked up at the end of your driveway. Said, yep, you got to pay for that one too. So just teaching them all these different things that, that life is going to throw at you as you get older. And we've made a lot of great partnerships. We are going to be offering at-cost and free programming in the new STEAM test kitchen that is coming up. We have partnered with them in Transformation Waco, and they have offered us a spot to offer our curriculum. So that's going to be about 20 to 40 programs a year that we will be doing there. We've also partnered with Waco Family Medicine and their new test kitchen, and we will also be offering chronic disease programming there. So between our office and Waco Family Medicine and the STEAM Kitchen, we're trying to just meet more people at where they are and places they want to go and places they trust so that we can get that education to them on how to manage and prevent any chronic disease that, the prevalence of it. I will say I do have to give a state of health report yearly to my regional program leader for our central region. We have actually gone down 2% of the people who have been diagnosed with cardiovascular disease or having cardiovascular deaths, we have gone down by 2% in McLennan County. So I like to say that that's because we're getting more programming and we're having more providers meet the people and they're sending more people our way. But we want that number to keep going down significantly. There's a lot on this, and I'll let y'all read through this, or if there's any questions that you may have on upcoming programming. I'm looking forward to the spousal retreat that we will be doing at our new grand office, our new grand meeting room for the Judges and Commissioners Conference that will be held here. So it's going to be a great event. When the room's ready, I hope y'all come out and can celebrate with us on being able to offer more education to the public, whether it be ag, natural resource, FCH, or BLT. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Rachel, I love acronyms. Remind me what FCH stands for.
So FCH, and they say our official title, so we have to use official names. It's CEA-FCH, which is County Extension Agent, Family and Community Health.
Family Community Health.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll have to say that 10 or 15
Yes.
times before we get it. Well, I know in regards to the finance programs that all the bankers and many parents will appreciate having a good place to go over those things, and getting people started on the right leg is good. And then, these new test kitchens like Waco Family Medicine has and new STEAM Center and all is a really great opportunity for y'all to.
Yeah, I think the new food bank's gonna have that too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, on Golson Highway, it's gonna have that. So we'll try to get you in there when that gets open. They're fixing to lay the concrete right now, so
Yeah.
it's gonna be nice.
We've had great things. We're this summer, and if y'all had any time to come out, Thrive, of course, that goes on at the state office there at Farm Bureau. We will be doing our simulation there. They've asked us to come back this year. Last year was our first year, and we try to partner with people in industry and the public. So we'll get Bird Colgin, Atmos, anybody who works within that area to come out and work with these kids. And it's a great event. If anyone ever wants to see it, it's going to be happening, I want to say August 2nd, which is the first Saturday in August. We will be at Farm Bureau.
Well, I took home ec in high school and things like that, and they taught us how to do checkbooks and all that. That's not there anymore,
No.
so.
Not at all.
No, so I'm gonna challenge all the commissioners here I'm gonna get Riesel, Axel, and Martin, Vega to reach out to you.
We'd love to.
Yeah.
We want to be everywhere and anywhere we can be.
Good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, is there a motion to approve this report for recording purposes?
So moved. Second.
Have a motion second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Pass. Thank you, Rachel. All right, next, I'd like to go to H1. This is authorization of program project agreement between Waco McLennan County Economic Development Corporation and Graphics Packaging International LLC and the Waco Industrial Foundation. So, good morning, Chris.
Morning. I have some slides for us, so.
Okay.
Just a second. Maybe. You have, for your consideration today, a program project agreement with the, and this is a little bit different than we normally see. Make sure that y'all can see this. Okay. Great. Sorry, I have new technology and I'm learning still. So we've been working for quite some time on the incentive package for Graphic Packaging International. And what we have for you today is the program project agreement. And this is the only agreement that will come before the county. There is a separate agreement that went through the tax increment reinvestment zone and is going to the Waco City Council this afternoon for presentation and then later consideration in the evening. But for purposes today, we'll talk about the program project agreement. But if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer those. This is a three-party agreement between the Economic Development Corporation, the Waco Industrial Foundation, and Graphic Packaging International. So it's a little bit different than a program project agreement that we typically have. And you don't have the final agreement in your packet. All of the terms of the agreement have been finalized. There are some last minute legalese terms that need to be finalized. But what I'm going to present to you is all of the terms, and then ask for y'all's consideration to allow Judge Felton to execute pending the finalization of those legal terms. So what I wanted to do is present to y'all a little bit about the economic impact of the project, some of the infrastructure improvements that are underway right now and support and what this is funding, the community financial support, and then an update on where Graphic Packaging is with their project. So just a reminder about the project, it is a $1 billion capital investment, 190 direct jobs that will be created with an average annual wage of $65,000 a year, plus health insurance benefits and retirement and a number of other benefits that they provide to their employees. They have 620,000 square feet of real on 125 acres under construction now. And with this, looking at the 20-year economic impact, there'll be about 378 direct and indirect jobs created, over $500 million worth of new payroll into the community, $289 million worth of new taxes generated across McLennan County. So that's from MCC, City of Waco, McLennan County, and Midway ISD. There'll be $140 million worth of new taxable sales in McLennan County and an estimated economic impact of over $500 million during the construction period alone.
Hold on just a
Okay.
minute.
We're getting
You getting
feedback, I
feedback?
think, from their room.
Hear all that, so. Proceed.
Okay, thanks, Judge. So large projects oftentimes require large infrastructure to go along with them. There's a lot that has been done in support of this. And the idea with it was not just that it was supporting Graphic Packaging, but it would also create an opportunity for additional investment to come along. And so you have infrastructure improvements that are happening within Texas Central Park, even some that are happening off-site. But the biggest part that you can see, that you'll be able to see is along the creation of brand-new road, Sheehy Parkway, that will come off of the Gateway Boulevard and connect into what is previously been Alliance Parkway. There's a new traffic signal that's going in at Bagby and now Sheehy Parkway. And then you have a small little shoot-off road called Salome Court that's been created to where this road, Alliance, used to just end at a cul-de-sac. So with this new road, you have water, sewer, sidewalks, electrical infrastructure. There's just a ton, and natural gas that comes along with this. So lots of public infrastructure that's being generated as a result of this. So looking at the community financial support, I mentioned before, there are a number of different programs that we've utilized for this. Today's consideration is related to the Economic Development Corporation and the $8.6 million grant there. I mentioned before, there is a tax increment financing agreement that will go for consideration tonight. The City of Waco did impact fee waivers. There's an enterprise zone project nomination that if the company chooses to go for, would be about $1.4 million. And then with the utility improvements, about $24 million there.
That's fair.
So a lot that has been done related to this. With the Economic Development Corporation, what we're putting to you today is a grant for $8.6 million, the county's portion of which would be $4.3 million. This is a three-party agreement again. For approximately $4.3 million of that is designated to graphic packaging for the construction of a rail spur and to reimburse the company for the traffic signal at Bagby Avenue. And then $4.3 million allocated to the Waco Industrial Foundation for natural gas, for the new natural gas line. So there's a new city gate improvement and the line that extends down Sheehy Parkway to their site that had to be built, and that actual cost of construction is a little $4.286 million. So the Industrial Foundation would be reimbursed out of this grant for that, which is why it's a three-party agreement. Those payments would be contingent upon the completion and acceptance of those improvements. I'll tell you, the natural gas line is done. The traffic signal is nearly complete and expected to be operational by the end of the month. So and then the rail work is underway right now too for graphic. Looking at that grant award, the combined return on investment is 26.8% in 4.5 years. The county's portion of which is just at 18% in 6.4 years. The city's, because their tax rate is essentially twice y'all's, they're paid back faster at 35.7% and a 3.5-year return on investment.
So that becomes my question then. This is in TIF 4.
Yes, sir. So this takes into account the TIF allocation already.
But, okay. How do you calculate that rate of return if we're not getting the, we're not
30%.
We're not getting the, so the 30%
Yep.
that we,
This is based off of the 30% on the real
30%
property.
that we do
Yes,
get.
sir.
Okay.
And
All right.
the inventory tax dollars that you get to.
Okay.
Yep, so,
That was my question
Yep.
from yesterday was what, I didn't remember, I voted we all voted for the creation of TIF 4.
yes, sir. And the expansion of it.
And the
Yes, sir.
expansion of it. And so we get 30%
Yes,
of
sir.
of the increment?
The city and the county allocate 70% of the real property, the new real property increment into the TIF, and 30% comes, the 30% balance comes directly to your general fund dollars.
That was my question.
Yes, sir. And then MCC is at 50% there. So looking at the rate of capture here, you're at about 6 years there for the economic impact through the economic impact analysis, and then looking through the term of the TIF agreement, you're looking at about $14.5 million worth of new revenue into the county, and these are always conservative estimates. So we err on the side of conservatism, just making sure that the numbers that we put into our system are realistic and not inflated. So that's about $12.6 million worth of direct new real property taxes after the TERS allocation, and about $1.9 million in new personal property taxes and inventory taxes. And so looking at graphic packaging as a whole, you have, they are ahead of schedule They anticipate commencing operations at the end of October of 2025 instead of February 2026. That also means that if they are operational before the end of the year, then it comes on the tax rolls for assessment in 2026 instead of 2027, which is great. Their hiring continues. They're near full employment. They've been utilizing the work site in Texas Central Park for their training, and this has become the model that TSTC is using for its communication with business on how it can bring value and help in upskilling and training people very quickly. To date, they've spent $70 million worth of investment with local suppliers and contractors. They've given me a full list of what those look like. You know, the largest part of their investment is in the equipment itself, but, you know, they need people in there that are installing that equipment. They need folks that are maintenance, but they have folks that they're hiring contractors for the HVAC and the electrical and all of the work.
There was a number mentioned last night, Judge, on welders. Do you remember what Congressman Sessions said, how many welders they'd hired? Was it 100?
No, it was almost 200.
Was it 200? It was a phenomenal number, unbelievable.
Yes, sir.
Number.
At their peak employment, they had 2,000 people working on the site between their direct construction workers and their suppliers with their teams that were out there. And so, I mean, it's hard to see, but you can see all those cars that were lined out there, and they were doing 24-hour shifts, 24-hour-a-day shifts. So you're breaking that up into 3 shifts across the day, but still, you know, that's a lot of folks that are out there working.
They're on track for October
This year.
October of this year?
Yes, sir.
To start making paper?
They expect to be making paper, fully making paper before the end of the year.
Wow.
And that, like you said, that's gonna go on the tax roll in 20.
So I guess I was out there in November?
Last year, yes, sir.
Yeah, and so it wasn't, I mean, they barely had the roof on.
Yeah, they've been working hard for sure.
I didn't know you could spend $1 billion that fast.
I could.
They bought a crane.
Now we know.
So to date, the water improvements, the sewer, the natural gas, the electric, all of those things are done. Pending projects, the rail work is underway. We're finalizing some agreements with the Union Pacific and Encore. Traffic signals will be finalized in July. The roadway should be done in July, and then there's sidewalks and lighting along the new street that'll continue through 2025. So
Did they end up building that, putting those traffic signals in themselves? I know there was some question.
yes, sir. So
They paid for that, right? Yeah.
they're paying for it, but the grant will reimburse them for that cost.
That was critical.
Right, oh, yeah.
Otherwise, not only for construction, but after that, there's trucks coming in and trucks going out.
Yes, sir. And
And the facility that I went to, that we went to, unbelievable amount of trucks that were staged to bring in paper, scrap paper, and then trucks going out with product was,
Chris, how much in that area on the new road is available for purchase now for other companies?
so to the south of them, the other site that's under construction, that's the Electrolit site. And so there's 40, just about 40 acres that the Industrial Foundation owns to the south of that. And then there's a private developer, Kurt Lyles, that has 20 acres adjacent to that. And then another 25 acres that the foundation owns there. So collectively, you're about 100 acres.
So, and the gas line's tremendous, because now you've got that in place.
Yes, sir.
And it can bring other people in, because they already have that infrastructure there.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
And so the line was extended to the end of Graphic Packaging's property, and then with Electrolit coming in, they've extended it further down
Right.
Sheehy Parkway, almost to that bottom curve where it connects over by Brazos Electric.
So Sheehy lines up with Alliance.
Yes, sir. Sheehy actually connects all the way to Bagby. It was renamed, Alliance was renamed on, I'll say, the west side of the road, and then the east side is still Alliance Parkway that goes through Commerce Park.
Okay.
when you get to the intersection at the light, it says Sheehy Parkway this way, Alliance Parkway this way. So with that, I'm happy to answer any questions that y'all might have about the agreement. It'll run through 2031. And we anticipate, once this is approved and finalized, and we'll be coming back to you shortly for the disbursement to the Industrial Foundation. And if Graphic is done with their rail work, they would be eligible to take down the balance for their improvements.
So if they go online in October 25, so we're just gonna actually back up our returns, everything just by a year or 6 months, I
We'll
guess?
start realizing those returns sooner.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
great.
Other questions?
So the motion today needs to be to approve the agreement as presented and to allow the county judge to sign off on it once the
The
paperwork is
legal
complete.
terms.
Yes,
The
sir.
legal part
Yes,
is.
sir. Dustin, is that correct?
Yes, that sounds good. So essentially just a motion to approve the program project agreement and authorize the county judge to sign following or pending a final staff and legal review.
Okay.
What's the pleasure of the court?
I make that motion.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you, Chris.
Thank y'all.
Thank you, Chris. It's an amazing project.
It is. And if y'all would like to go out and visit, let me know. I'll be happy to arrange that because it's a wonder to be able to see it.
Got a
And
golf cart?
we got a bus,
Okay.
air conditioning.
That's even better.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris.
Appreciate you.
All right, Dustin, you had an item you wanted to go to?
Yes, sir. If we go down to the supplemental agenda, this is item B1 on the supplemental. It's regarding the Secretary of State 2025 Help America Vote Act HAVA Election Security Subgrant Authorization of Grant Application and Related Resolution. Jared?
Yeah, so this is a new grant. I guess it's going to an older piece of legislation that we qualify for. But this is something that just came up, and if we want to get on this, we have to apply for it pretty quickly. This grant would give the county our size up to $52,000 of money to be used for upgrading security systems or upgrading voting systems. The funds would have to be matched at 20% by the county. If we use this funds for an option that qualifies for Chapter 19 funds usage, we could do that. Chapter 19 funds, of course, are funds that we have from the state. So that's what I'd like to do is if we use this, try to use it to where it's something that qualifies for Chapter 19. That way the county wouldn't be out. But if we had to use it for other options that don't qualify for Chapter 19, we could certainly, try to use our own budget to cover that 20%. So what I need from y'all is to approve a resolution that the state has given. That way I can give it to the state and see if we can get some of these fundings. So let me know if you have any questions.
Any questions?
For $10,400, we'll get $52,000.
Yes, correct. Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good return.
And the 10,400 would come from that funding.
Yes, it could come from Chapter 19, which I do have that
Yeah.
amount saved up in Chapter 19. So
It's a good deal.
Okay.
I agree.
All right. What's the pleasure of the court?
Move to approve.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Dustin?
Yes, sir. All right, we can move back to the top of the agenda. We'll move back to item F, bids, RFPs, and RFQs. F1 is authorization of quotes with Extra Code Technology. F1A is regarding structured cabling for 2124 North 25th Street, and this goes along with a budget amendment. TJ?
Yes, good morning, everyone.
None.
So at the time we put together the construction budget for the project over on 25th Street, we really didn't compensate for the number of floors, being it's a two-level structure. So this cabling quote came in, of course, it was a little bit over what we had allowed in our budget. We are going to ask for an amendment to take care of these additional costs. But you'll see one from ExtraCo and one from IT, Solid IT Networks for equipment proposals. We've reviewed these along with IT, and everything looks to be on the up and up, so we do recommend it for approval.
All right, any questions?
Motion to approve. Second.
All right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
F1B is regarding network video recorder and camera, security camera system for AV wing of Highway 6 jail. I'd like to call on John Carter, and Katie Taylor is available as well.
So this is a necessary replacement of the camera system at the jail and the Jack Harwell facility. Every camera in there needs to be replaced, but we realize that cost is quite large. So we broke this up into 3 phases. What you're seeing today is the first phase, and that's A and B wing. These are the ones that are completely out of date system. They can't view from any other location. It presents a dangerous situation both for the inmates and for the guards there. As you can see, the first phase is $278,135.99. And this would bring them in line with the other camera systems that we have in the county, so we can keep them all under management and under warranty and such. We've reviewed this, the ESSA Sheriff's Office has reviewed this, and we recommend it for approval.
This is, will come from the commissary fund.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right, any questions?
I've probably seen those are the same cameras that I used in A and B wing in 1995, probably.
Very well could be. I'm not sure.
I like the fact that they've got some warranty with them, so that's a plus, so.
Okay, new technology.
And phases 2 and 3 will be included in the next 2 fiscal year budgets.
Okay. All right, any questions? If not, is there a motion to approve the quote?
Motion to approve the quote.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Item F2 is authorization of quote from Brazos Media Technologies for Heart of Texas Fairgrounds base AV panel repairs. So this is a quote totaling $7,250 for the repair and replacement of AV touchscreen panels at the base. It's for 3 of the touch panels. These have either failed or have been damaged. The fair is looking at some protective covers for these going forward. This is a venue expense, and so it's been reviewed and is recommended for approval.
All right, and none of this, I'm assuming, was not under warranty.
No, sir, the warranty would have expired, and then some I think were actually physically damaged, but they are looking for like the thermostat type cover, the protective covers to put on them to keep that from happening again.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to approve the quote from Brazos Media?
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Moving on to item G, contracts and interlocal agreements. G1 is regarding the software as a services agreement amendment with Tyler Technologies, authorization of warranty ORI conversion services quote for enterprise public safety. John?
Yes, we're bringing this amendment before you because we had an issue with the public safety application. When they imported the warrants from EDOC, the data was in such a way that it all got imported under the Sheriff's Office ORI. And unfortunately, that included all of the JP warrants and everything. So now we had to solve that temporarily. We had to give all the JPs access to the Sheriff's Office warrants, which you definitely don't want to do that across the agencies. So this fix, $4,560, would fix that issue permanently, and we could then revert back to proper security protocols for that. And this is well within the budget for amendments. The contingencies budget for this.
All right, any questions? If no questions, I'll make a motion to approve the quote from Tyler Technologies.
Second.
That motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G2 is authorization of agreement quote with Solid IT Networks for network switches, wireless access points for 2124 North 25th. And TJ, I think you kind of touched on this under that previous item. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, that's correct. This is for the equipment that'll be needed for all the data services over there. IT has put this together and reviewed it, so we recommend it for approval.
Okay, any questions?
No questions, just a comment is that I'm hoping that all of these providers will furnish us with some sort of warranty on these products. I certainly hope we're asking for them. With that said, I would move to approve G2.
Second.
I think that's a John question.
Okay.
Sorry,
Are there warranties?
yes.
On the-
This is the.
So this is hardware, right?
So the, talking about the solid IT working.
Yeah.
Yes, you have the switches and then the actual wiring to be done. But yes, they're all in one.
Like, so is it 1 year?
We buy an initial 1 year typically or 3 year, but I don't know what these are specifically off the cuff. I can get that information to you.
Okay, and that's.
I want to look at what
Extended.
how much the 3-year warranty is. It
If
sure
it's
seems
cost-
like
yeah,
we get
if
to-
we have to buy an extended warranty, and it might be worth it in the long run, because
we get to the 3rd year and
there you go.
Okay, well, I'd rather not defer this because we're trying to.
Oh, no, I've already made a motion to
right,
approve.
but-
Have motion second, that's true. Thank you. All right, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G3,
Hold on,
Sorry, it does say in there 1,095 day warranty, so on parts, that's 3 years.
That's 3 years.
okay,
I like it.
thank you.
guaranteed.
Okay,
moving on to item G3, authorization of interlocal cooperation agreement with Moody Independent School District for culvert installation. Commissioner Smith?
Yes, sir. Moody has a need for replacing a culvert that's collapsed, and they've reached out to us, and we've entered into an interlocal agreement with them to replace that culvert. So I would move that we approve the interlocal with Moody Independent School District.
I'll second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
G4 is authorization of agreement estimate with Lone Star Chiller Systems for the Heart of Texas Fairgrounds Extraco Event Center chiller breaker replacement. TJ?
Yes, this is estimate and agreement with Lone Star. It goes along with one of the budget amendments that we'll see here shortly. Over the past month or so, we've actually lost the breaker on this chiller a couple of times. So we've done some testing on it, found it to be weak. This is the cost associated with replacing that. So we've reviewed it, recommended for approval.
All right, any questions?
A big breaker.
Yeah.
Big breaker.
Big breaker. Yeah. Move to approve, Judge.
Second.
All right, we have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
All right, moving down to item I, capital improvement and construction projects. And Judge, these next 5 are all invoices related to engineering. Would you like me to read them all in at one time?
If you don't mind.
I-1's regarding the Chapel Road improvements, authorization of engineering invoice through March. This is for Walker Partners. I-2's regarding the South Old Bruceville Road at tributary to Prather Creek culvert replacement project, agreement with BGE, authorization of May invoice. I-3's regarding the Big Creek Bridge upgrade on Thompson Road, agreement with BGE, authorization of May invoice. I-4's regarding the Brushy Creek Bridge upgrade on 7 Mile Lane, agreement with BGE, authorization of May invoice. And I-5's regarding the professional services agreement amendment with RPS Infrastructure, authorization of invoice for plan specs and estimate documents for off-system bridge repairs. Amy?
Morning.
So just to give you a few notes on Chapel Road improvements, we are moving forward for the last 2 phases where we're going to be working within the same right-of-way footprint as the existing roads. So things are going to sort of get interesting between the contractors and the local community. And because of that, next Tuesday, we're going to have a public meeting to talk to the public and have them come in and let them know what's going on and explain and answer any questions that they have. So those invitations are going out today, so you all will get those as well when we send them out today. But progress is good, and we're still looking at finishing that project on time. Old Bruceville Road, contractor did get their notice to proceed June 2nd, so they should be starting soon. They had some issues with precasting, so they opted to cast in place the culvert there, but they are still anticipating being done before the school year starts. Thompson Road and 7 Mile are being progressed together. We do have one more item on for right-of-way acquisition this court, which will complete all of our right-of-way acquisition for those two projects. So we're ready to make a decision about go forward. So Commissioner Wilson and I will be coming back with a request from you about how we want to proceed with those two projects. But basically, they're good to go. RPS infrastructure, that's the 7 bridges. And I think we've worked our way through the whole antiquities application process, and we're good with that, so we're moving forward with finalizing that project. And for those who may or may not remember, that's the Double E Bridge, Harrison Road, 2 on Prairie Chapel, 1 on San Ann, Trelesia, and West County line. So we kind of cover the gamut of the county for those. So any questions, I'd be happy to answer.
No one's unaffected. Everybody's gonna have a little pain.
Yep.
Any questions? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second?
All right, motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
Thank you.
Thank you, Amy.
All right, moving on to item J, budget amendments. J1's regarding the FY25 budget. Francis?
Thank you. So going through the budget amendments, starting with J1A, this is general fund for 170th District Court. The request is to move within that department into professional development to allow that department to send a court reporter to a conference. And that includes, of course, the conference fee and any other related expenses. J1B, this is General Fund County Court at Law 3. They just needed a slight increase in their software licensing line for an increase to their BIS digital software. And so they are requesting to move from another line in their budget to accommodate that increase. J1C, this is General Fund Child Protective Court. This is a request from the countywide contingencies to increase their court reporter line. And so, of course, just necessary costs to run that department. This has been now, or you've made an attempt to correct this this increase to this line item by approving a new court reporter for the 474th. But this is needed to finish out this year until they can get that put into place. J1D, this is General Fund District Attorney requesting to move within that department into the line item for fuel for their department vehicles. J1E, this is a budget amendment in Fund 401, the Permanent Improvement Fund. This goes along with items F1A and G2, but these are increases to the line items for the new property at 2124 North 25th Street. One line is associated with the closing cost on the purchase of the building. So we had done a budget amendment for the cost, of course, but we now have of course, the HUD settlement statement. And so that $16,777 is needed in addition. And then, like I said, going back to items F1A and G2, we've increased the building modifications line for those IT-related expenses. J1F, this is Fund 419, 2019 bond proceeds. This is just to clean up that fund and allocate some of the contingencies into the line item for arbitrage payment for this year. J1G, Fund 421, 2021 bond proceeds. This is also a cleanup item within this fund. This is taking 4 project lines that are now complete and then moving any excess funding that was left over, moving it back up into contingencies so that we can allocate that to other projects as needed. J1H, this item goes with, or this budget amendment goes with item G4 that you previously approved. And this is to increase the line for repair and maintenance at the Heart of Texas Fairgrounds for the chiller repair. And then J1I needs to be pulled with no action. And so that
No
concludes.
action on J1I?
Yes, sir.
Okay, any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve those mentioned with the exception of the, no action on J1I?
Move to approve J1A through J1H.
Second.
All right, have a motion second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, passed. I have a question, on the certificate obligation, so these are monies left over that go back into the contingency money that weren't spent?
Yes, so at some point, we had done a budget amendment, you had allocated funds to that project.
Yeah.
But then there was leftover, so we budget-wise, we move it back into contingencies. It's still part of the budget, but then as you approve new projects, we will then allocate that back out of contingencies. Just keeps it clean, keeps the projects separated.
Now, I was thinking about the park, we've got a lot of things to do out there, so.
So if you approved.
Spend that money back in.
Yeah, so if you approved a project similar to that, let us know that you want to use bond proceeds, then we'll set up a new project line in that fund. And then, yes, those contingencies can be allocated to those approved projects.
Those would have to be kind of long-term things because they are bond and.
Yes.
So, like those buoys and all that would be short-term, but something permanent.
But ramps or something like that would be long-term.
Yeah.
You can think about matching up the life of that project, that capital project with the life of the debt.
Okay, thank you.
Of course.
All right, Dustin.
All right, moving on to J1J, authorization of Texas Association of Counties claim deductible invoice. This invoice totals $2,337.50, and it is for a law enforcement claim. Just need a motion to approve that invoice.
All right, I make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Motion made and second. Any other discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
J1K is authorization to use remaining FY25 IT assessment funds to pre-purchase FY26 IT assessments. John?
Yes. From the FY25 IT assessments line, we have left in there an amount currently $27,269.11. We've already identified, of course, for the budget process, FY26 purchases, and we're just asking to use those funds to pre-purchase some of those items that we can to, of course, decrease the 26 budget request.
All right, any questions about that? All right, I think we'll see this happen numerous times between now and then in your budget. All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
J2 is regarding the FY26 budget, and J2A is discussion or any action on budget work sessions. Francis, do you have anything today?
I don't have anything today presentation-wise. Our goal this week is to get out the access to the spreadsheet so you all can start reviewing those. And of course, we'll alert you when those are ready. But we'll look forward to starting discussions on the next agenda on July 1st.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Right, moving on to J2B, it's the McLennan County Appraisal District, discussion and or action regarding the 2026 proposed budget allocation. So they'd submitted their proposed budget for the court's review. It is in your packet, and then they meet in September to adopt their final budget.
All right, any questions?
I would like to point out that the majority of the increase is due to an election for 3 publicly elected board director members which is estimated to be up to $250,000 if there's a runoff. And I'd like to thank the Texas legislature for that.
Okay, so noted.
Agreed. And I'm a little curious why the homestead exemption amount, that doesn't really apply to this year's budget, does it? Because that's not gonna be voted on till November.
Right, yeah.
That's the new, yeah, that'll be in the new.
That would actually affect the budget next year. Is that correct? Because the homestead exemption, that vote doesn't even take place till November.
That's
We
how I
talked-
understood it. Yeah, I think we were on the same page there. I was a little bit unclear about that statement as well, so, but yes, I believe you're right. And, just another comment on that, that quarterly estimated payment will always change because it's just a proration calculation on all levies for all entities. But the estimate is usually,
I'll be
not a lot of
curious to see what
fluctuation.
happens next year if those exemptions are approved and the total taxable values decrease in some taxing entities, how that's going to affect their portion and what they'll be owed, and even us possibilities. So.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, what's the pleasure of the court?
I guess what do we approve, what are we asking to, it's not a final budget yet, so what are we approving this?
I think we can just accept it for recording purposes.
Okay, so move to accept for recording purposes.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? No discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, we have nothing under item K this week. Under item L, grant proposals. L1 is our ARPA discussion, and I don't have anything this week unless the court has anything they'd like to discuss. Not, we'll move on to item M. M1's Road and Bridge Precinct 2, authorization of reimbursement for vehicle damage. Commissioner Wilson?
Yeah, this happened back May the 7th when the storm blew through. We have a culvert out there. It's about 6 foot diameter and probably, I don't know, 40 foot long. It's huge. They had it anchored down with some T-posts to kind of keep it from moving, but this wind blew and blew it into one of our employees' pickup. And we tried to look at different ways to get it paid for. I think we're just gonna have to pay for it. The way I look at it is if his truck wouldn't have been there, it would have damaged our new building tremendously.
Wow.
Yeah, well,
I mean,
we won't take care of our employees.
Yes, sir.
Their fault.
I mean, I have pictures here if y'all wanna look at it or not, but the culvert was huge. And it would have blown into the building.
Yeah.
It picked it up in the air.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
And of course, the damage nowadays to a truck bed and
Oh, yeah.
tail light and all that, it's almost $5,500, but they don't fix anything anymore. They just put new stuff
Replace
on
it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve that.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
And under item N, additional items. N1 is selection designation of public members of the Salary Grievance Committee regarding the FY26 budget. Mercedes, do we need to do anything today?
No, Dustin, we don't have anything for this item today.
All right, thank you. Moving on to item N2, authorizations regarding the 2025 North and East Texas County Judges and Commissioners Association Annual Conference. N2A is a ratification of a charter reservation form agreement with Waco Transit System. We needed to get this sent back quickly, so Judge signed this this form, so we just need to ratify this charter reservation form.
All right.
So if we don't approve it, Judge is on the hook for the cost of it. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. Move to approve the ratification.
Second.
Bless you.
Man, they got it covered. All right, have a motion second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
All right, moving down to item N4, authorization of Texas Association of Counties Risk Management Pool 2025 Property Coverage Renewal and Related Invoice. This invoice totals $623,864. Did want to point out that last year's was right at $520,000. It is an increase of about 20% over last year's total. Did go back and look at the total covered value, and that did increase about 7.5% to 8%. And I did reach out to TAC, and they got with their underwriting department, and they did say that the property program for the pool saw an average increase of around 15 to 20% across the board. So just wanted to share that information with the court.
At least we have coverage.
So, yeah, so gone up $104,000 in 1 year.
And it was pretty similar to that the year before as well. We were paying around 400,000 2 years ago, I believe. But our covered value has increased, and I do know Todd Kiesel, before he had passed, he came and visited, and this is the way the insurance market was going. And I did text Commissioner Perry, and he just responded as well. And said basically property does seem to be softening some, but it kind of, I guess it is what it is, and that is what they saw across the pool average, that increase of 15 to 20%.
I mean, do we want to look at that value? And, I mean, we are, we have a 30% fund balance and things like that, so I don't.
Increase the deductible?
Yeah, right.
No,
Yeah.
or decrease the property, total covered value. I think that would be the.
Well, and I don't know how much of it's going to be tied. They kind of appraise the properties every few years. I don't know if Ken remembers how often, but I think we just had a full appraisal within the last year or so.
Yes, sir.
And we keep adding properties too.
That's true.
Yes.
But what about the deductibles? Are those negotiable? Can those be raised? Because as Commissioner Jones said, we've got a healthy fund balance that could be an umbrella. But, it looks like to me that under some of it's all included. It's included with the policy, included with the policy, included with the policy, which means there's, I guess, no value to, what does that mean when it says included to the policy?
I think it's just saying that the contribution level of those is included in that total 590,000. So probably the one deductible, I guess the one that could have the biggest impact would probably just be the property, the 25,000. I do think we used to be at 10,000 and we raised it to 25,000 a few years ago, but I could reach out to them and ask them to run our premium if we raise that to 50,000. I don't remember if they have certain set levels that it has to go to. I'd have to pull up our questionnaire, which I could do that in just a minute.
Do we have $30,000 worth of law enforcement animals?
Probably more than that. What are our dogs?
How many dogs do we have now? 2? Okay.
I'm glad we're covered under earthquakes. So.
I think we need to get some horses, to be honest with you. Save on some fuel.
They eat at night, and so
Yeah.
that's not necessary.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I can give you a long discussion about horses.
I can too.
I've owned over 100 of them.
Dustin, I would like to see what they say at a higher deductible than 25, even up to 100, in increments of 50, 75, and 100. If it makes any measurable difference at all, they'll probably.
Okay, well, I think it's totally fine to defer this today, and I will let them know. I had let them know it was on the agenda and that I was anticipating some questions on the increase, and so we can ask them to run those numbers and just see what their different deductible levels are.
In regards to basic increase, I don't know of anybody that didn't have an increase in property and casualty. A lot, blamed on inflation or all these other things, but still, nevertheless, whether they're right or wrong, I don't know of anybody that didn't have increased premiums.
Yeah. Yeah, sure.
So, but I agree that we should look at all of our options on that and discuss it. So I guess in this regard, make a motion to defer.
You made the motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Yeah.
Have a motion. Second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, passed.
N5 is designation of initial representative to the Central Texas Water Alliance from McLennan County. Judge?
So as you know, the governor signed an order to authorize the creation of the Central Texas Water Alliance, and, which is a partnership between Belton and McLennan County, along with all, many of the water purveyors within both counties, which would be primarily municipalities and water supply corporations and those things. And to start off with, to get the planning started, there would be a 4-member board. And what I'm asking the commissioners to do to authorize me to be a member of that 4-member board until the next step, which would be to broaden the board to those people that would be partners in acquiring and purchasing this water.
Motion to approve the selection of Judge Felton for the board for the Central Texas Water Alliance.
Second.
All right, motion been made. Second, any other discussion? Only other thing, I think most of you received an invitation for July 3rd, which will be a invitation of all the partners, municipalities and others to on July 3rd in Bell County at their COG building, I believe, but I'll be sure we have details on that. But at that time, there'll be, try to give as much clarification as we know to that point of what the next steps are. And this is a big undertaking. It'll positively provide generations to come for adequate water over and above what we already have in both counties. It will help on providing water to individuals as well as industrial development. So that's the plan. So we have a motion, a second, any discussion? No discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
Right. Item N7, authorization of appointment to the McLennan County 911 Emergency Assistance District Board of Managers. Back in March, the court approved Commissioner Perry and Frank Patterson to serve. At this time, Commissioner Perry would like for Commissioner Wilson to take his place on that board, and that to be effective today, June 17th, 2025.
I'll make a motion, we approve that.
Second.
That was a little fast.
Well, we can discuss.
No, that's okay. I'm looking forward to it.
It's an emergency.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, I'm looking forward to
You
it.
can't turn that. All right, we have a motion, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, pass.
N8 regarding the Information Technology Policy and Procedures Handbook, authorization of policy addition for multi-factor authentication policy. John?
Hello. Back in February, I believe it was, the court approved the grant funding and the purchase of the Imprivata system. That provided us multi-factor authentication, which we're now implementing, in the middle of implementing. What we felt after talking to some of the elected officials, we felt like a policy needed to be put in place, even though the court had already approved the system. The policy will just kind of govern how we go about the multi-factor authentication and establish its authority to do so. The multi-factor authentication, well, I can stop right there because that's what we need. We need the policy in place for everyone, just so they know it's there. This has been legally reviewed and reviewed by Dustin as well, and all of our security consultants as well.
Well, unfortunately, in this day and time with all the breaches and cyber crime criminals out there, that we have to go to extra work to prevent this from happening, and it is. It's not like it used to be, and it never will be, more than likely. So I don't have any questions about it, but anybody else have any questions for John about this? If not, what's the pleasure of the court?
A motion to approve the multi-factor authentication policy.
Second.
Motion been made, second, any other discussion? No other discussion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass. Thank you.
All right, we have nothing under item O this week. Moving on to item P, McLennan County Downtown Jail Remodel. P1s regarding the construction manager at risk agreement with John W. Irwin General Contractor. P1A is authorization of application for partial payment number 6. Ken?
Yes, this pay application is the amount of $1,765,536. It's been reviewed by us. It's been reviewed by Brinkley Sargent, and it should be good to go.
All right, any questions? All right, is there a motion to approve this pay application?
So moved.
Second?
Motion been made and second. Any other discussion? No other discussion. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Pass.
P2 is authorization of fire pump use agreement with the city of Waco. And TJ, do we need to defer again?
Yes, sir. Actually, we can probably pull this with no action, and once they get everything put back together, we'll put it back on.
All right, cool, with no action.
All right, and Judge, that should be all the action items for today.
Yes, Judge.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Those numbers are correct.
Okay. Anything else to come before the board? All right, if not, we stand adjourned.
Yeah, that's probably,
Yeah, that's
Pretty remarkable.
percent.
Recording stopped.
Completed, 136%.
I need to look at.
Like a boat broke down, Homa, Louisiana.
They're gonna tell the judge.